Therefore the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and ordained him king for his father in Jerusalem. Jehoahaz was of 23 years when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And when the king of Egypt had come to Jerusalem, he removed him, and he condemned the land in 100 talents of silver and in a talent of gold. And he ordained for him Eliakim his brother, king upon Judah and Jerusalem. And he turned his name and called him Jehoiakim. And he took that Jehoahaz with himself and brought him into Egypt. Jehoiakim was of 25 years when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And he did evil before the Lord his God. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of Chaldees, went up against this Jehoiakim, and he led him bound into chains into Babylon, to which Babylon he translated or brought over also the vessels of the house of the Lord, and he set those in his temple. Swiftly, the residue of the words of Jehoiakim and of his abominations which he wrought, and which were found in him, be contained in the book of the kings of Israel and of Judah. And Jehoiakim, his son, reigned for him. Jehoiakim was of 18 years when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months and 10 days in Jerusalem, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. And when the circle of the year was turned about Nebuchadnezzar, the king sent men, which also brought him into Babylon, when the most precious vessels of the house of the Lord were borne out together. And Nebuchadnezzar ordained Zedekiah his father's brother, king upon Judah and Jerusalem. Zedekiah was of 21 years when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord his God, and he was not ashamed of the face of Jeremy the prophet, that spake to him by the mouth of the Lord. Also, he went from the king Nebuchadnezzar, which had made him to swear by God, that is, to promise steadfastly to be true to him. And Zedekiah made hard his soul and his heart, that he would not turn again to the Lord God of Israel. But also, the princes of priests and the people trespassed wickedly by all the abominations of heathen men, and they defiled the house of the Lord, which he had hallowed to himself in Jerusalem. And the Lord God of their fathers sent to them by the hand of his messengers. And the Lord rose up by night, and he admonished them each day for that he would spare his people and his dwelling place. And they mocked the messengers of God, and they despised his words, and they scorned his prophets, till the great vengeance of the Lord ascended upon his people, and no cure or healing were to them. And he brought on them the king of Chaldees, and killed the young men of them by sword in the house of sanctuary. He had not mercy of a young man, and of a virgin, and of an old man, and swiftly, neither of a man nigh the death for eldness, but he betook all into the hand of that king of Chaldees. And he translated, or brought over into Babylon, all the vessels of the house of the Lord, both the greater and the lesser vessels, and the treasures of the temple, and of the king of Judah, and of the princes thereof. And enemies burnt the house of the Lord, and they destroyed the wall of Jerusalem. They burnt all the towers, and they destroyed whatever thing was precious therein. If any man escaped the sword, he was led into Babylon, and served the king and his sons. This subjection, or thraldom, continued upon the men of Judah, till the king of Persia reigned, until the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremy was fulfilled, until the land hallowed his Sabbaths. Swiftly, Judah in all the days of desolation, or of the destroying, or forsaking thereof, it made Sabbath, till that 70 years were fulfilled. Forsooth in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, to fulfill the word of the Lord, which he had spoken by the mouth of Jeremy, the Lord raised the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that commanded to be preached in all his realm, yea, by writing, and said, I, Cyrus, king of Persia, saith these things. The Lord God of heaven hath given to me all the realms of earth, and he commanded to me that I should build to him an house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who of you is in all his people? The Lord his God be with him, and go he up thither.